This is a lovely lampreys with wall-breaking teeth that can suck blood out of a person in an instant. The man found one on the beach and scooped it up. He answered the phone with his left hand and held the eel in his right, unaware that a group of cuties were approaching him. The man felt that it was not enough to plug his teeth and just wanted to let it go, but the eel bit back, and the man used all his strength to throw him down. Just then, thousands of eels burst out of the water and bite into the man's body armor. This scared the man so much that he forgot he had legs. He crawled forward painfully, and the next moment, the largest eel bit his head. He relied on a force larger than its own bite, and the 300-pound man was pulled into the water. On the other side, Grandpa was fishing by the river, and as soon as he threw down the hook, an eel sprang out of the water and directly threw him to the ground. The dog was suddenly scared away and could only hide and watch the master leave, and the river turned red in an instant. By the time Tom was ordered to investigate, he could no longer tell who the man was. He had been eaten clean. Tom found only 2 dead lampreys, and his proposal to turn off the reservoir's valves was opposed by the mayor. This is an angler's paradise, and if he closes, he will lose hundreds of millions. The next day, the park opened as usual, and a large number of tourists came here, unaware that the water source was full of eels. No sooner had Mary come out of the lake than the little boy got a fright. Mary's leg was covered in blood, and the boy licked it to confirm his theory. Just then, the eels attacked the crowd, and the people ran frantically for the shore. While the slower ones were pulled into the water, Mary was so afraid that she told her father Tom what she had seen. Then Tom sent John, his best assistant, to the lake to investigate. John did not find anything unusual and prepared to drink the wine leisurely. As soon as he opened the wine, a small eel sprang out. John was pulled alive into the water and died instantly. John's body was taken to the morgue, but the medical examiner found nothing strange. A body was taken to the morgue, where the medical examiner determined that the body was indeed dead. He skillfully unwrapped his coat, then wore a mask, and suddenly, the body seemed to have something in the stomach wriggling. The medical examiner, unaware of it, picked up the cutlery on the floor. Just then, Tom called and told the medical examiner not to touch the body. However, the medical examiner quickly dissected the body, and suddenly a 2-meter-long eel flew out, and the man was instantly pinned to the ground. Then more eels come out, and the medical examiner becomes lunch for the eels. When Tom arrived at the morgue, the eels had escaped from the sewers. He again suggested that the mayor turn off the water supply valve, but in the face of the revenue brought by tourism, the mayor again refused him, and soon the lake was full of dead fish. Tom held a press conference at his own expense and warned people to stay away from the lake. At this moment, a large number of eels enter the city from the sewers, and innocent passers-by are attacked. The eels have invaded the grass and the water pipes, and even the faucets in homes, and the city has been thrown into chaos. The mayor, who was on the toilet on the other side, suddenly felt a cool breeze under his ass, and an eel forced itself into his body, and then it fell to the ground without breathing, at which time the eel could survive out of the water. Tom's colleague was driving, but he was forced to stop. As he sought help, the eel jumped directly into the car, and the female colleague was soon dead. This scene is so urgent that 2 men can only watch their colleagues being eaten. Suddenly, Tom thought of his family and hurried home with his colleagues. At this time, eels also appear in Tom's home, first in the garden, then the faucet, and then the toilet. Eels are everywhere. The son was frightened and hid in the storeroom, but he did not think that more danger was coming. This is an eel with tens of thousands of teeth, and they are everywhere, even in the toilet. Mary looked at her mother trapped in the bathroom. She didn't have the courage to open the door. Mary picked up the toilet brush, watching the eels grow more and more, picked up the electric bar, and quickly slipped it to her mother. Then they found an iron fork and stuck an eel in it. The mother escaped with a heating stick and electrocuted the eels alive into electric eels. Mary was so scared that she accidentally fell. Then the mother thought of her son and told Mary to hide. When the mother came to the lake, she saw only 2 bodies and no sign of her son. Suddenly, groups of eels swim over. The mother picked up a bottle of gasoline, poured on the groups of eels, and then a fire lit the gasoline. The eel was grilled sizzle. A smell of grilled eel floated out. The woman looked at the cooked fish and cried, thinking that her son might have died there. When Tom arrived at the mayor's office, he was attacked by eels, and he escaped with the help of his colleagues. Mary is also fighting the eels with the herbicide, and her attack is making the eels unable to move any further. When Tom called, Mary held the herbicide in one hand and ignored the eel. Soon my mother came back with gasoline and burned the fish with a fire. After Tom rushed home and rescued several people, they drove out of town together. When they passed a tower, suddenly the ground shook. The tower fell down, scattered wires on the ground, and the eel was electrocuted to the ground. As Tom watched the scene in front of him, he thought of a way to destroy the eels, which could be attracted by the smell of the eel's liver. They kill the eels by electrocution, but there's not enough liver to attract them all. They thought of a solution at the same time, and then jumped into the sewer. The only way to attract all the eels is to kill them. This method worked, but the consequence was to pay with one's life. At this point, all the eels poured into the sewer. They watched their colleagues have been killed, only to open the electric switch. Just by listening to the sizzling sound, all the eels became electric eels, and the sewer was filled with the smell of grilled eels. An eel crisis has finally been resolved. Just when everyone thought it was over, suddenly they find a man drinking water in the park, and the next they are dragged away by eels. It turns out that the eels are just young, and a bigger crisis is coming.